Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony. This is a 15-minute gamer, and today we're going to answer the question, is World War 3 worth your money? However, that is with the caveat it's going free to play in a few months. Around about March time, they reckon, so far. So it's more of a question, is it worth paying now for some extra goodies and early access? But before all that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos, tap the notification bell, smash that like button, and comment below to let me know what you think. And also, happy 2022 to all the people who are watching this. Anyway, first up, what is World War 3? World War 3 is a tactical online multiplayer FPS where the world is your battleground. Outgun the enemy in thrilling team-based skirmishes with a huge arsenal of weapons, vehicles, gadgets, and drones at your disposal. How much does it cost to get into this closed beta? So at the moment, there's 4 ways to get in. There's the private pack, which costs about $12 or £11. The sergeant pack, which is about $29.99 or 25 quid. The lieutenant pack, which is $49.99 or 43 quid. And finally, the major pack, which is $299 or 259 of your Great British pounds. And keep in mind, you can't upgrade. So if you want to get the private pack, then go to the sergeant. You can do that for a price in between. So what do you get for the private pack? You get closed beta test access, you get a weapon emblem, a banner set. That's what you get for your money there. With the sergeant pack, you also get that, plus you get a sergeant weapon emblem, 2 banner sets, you get a US rifleman operator blueprint and a Russian one, and you get 2 assault rifles, which is an AK-15 intervention and an AM4 MWS. The lieutenant pack also comes with the battle pass. You get a lieutenant weapon emblem, you get a new banner set, you get a new helmet, you get an LMG and an IFV, and also the major one, which is the super expensive one. You get a battle pass, you get 15,000 in-game currency, no idea how much that is yet as it's not in the game. You get a major weapon emblem, some banner sets, you get a weapon skin, you get an M1A2 tank, and you get a T-72 tank. Where can you get it from? You can get it from Steam, which is weirdly a little cheaper than the official website, which is www.worldwar3.com. Bear in mind, though, that there is a few negative reviews on Steam because you do have to install a third-party launcher for this. I didn't find the launcher too bad, but it did take up to about 2.5 hours to install the game on my 64 megabyte fiber. So my refund period had ended by the time the game installed, because you have to have the game running on Steam to install the while you're doing the launcher. So yeah, just bear that in mind a little bit, that you pretty much can't refund this game in most circumstances once it's installed, unless you've got much faster internet than me. So what do I get for my money outside them things it's going to give you? Well, this is the basic package, and you get this in all of them, apart from the extra guns and stuff. There's 9 assault rifles, 2 battle rifles, 3 submachine guns, 2 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 3 sniper rifles. You also get 3 pistols, RPG, like a stinger thing. You get a bunch of grenades and a load of gadgets. You get 4 maps with a further 3 smaller areas on Team Deathmatch. So that's what you're getting in. Quite a lot then. I'm sure there'll be loads more guns, grenades, gadgets and stuff. You also get full customization as well. Right, let's talk a little bit about customization, because this is a really good feature of this game, just while we're talking what you get. It really shines here, and it's definitely up there with the best. There is a large gun upgrade system in place. Like each weapon, you can unlock blueprints which have different things on it. You can add different sights, you can put counter sights on, different rail attachments, and you upgrade as you play the game. So as you play the game with that gun, you will upgrade that gun and unlock the next attachment. And you can unlock sights, muzzles, attachments, and then you can also unlock cosmetics as well, like skins for your weapons as well. Not only that, you can also modify and change your perk loadout, so you can like give your tanks different guns, which I really like. I think that's such a good thing. And different skins, of course, so you can kill them how you like. Character customization is also fantastic. You can add new insignia, different helmets to the pants you're wearing, to even the gloves, and you can get different ones, and you all have like different countries. So like you can make yours more British or American orientated, for example, and these also unlock via progression. This is all just great to see. It's implemented very well. It's easy on the whole to use and looks great. There's so much variation on the battlefield too, and I love that. And you can play for a very long time with all these different like mods and attachments and probably not use the same thing again, and you can have different loadouts, which I really like. I run around and pick people's weapons up occasionally as well, just to see what other people are running. The customization is like one of the best outside Tarkov, I would say. I mean, nothing would ever beat Tarkov, but it's definitely up there. So yeah, I really like that. There are 2 game modes. You get Team Deathmatch. This is 10 versus 10. Lasts about 6 or 7 minutes. However, I did feel like the XP in this mode was too low. Like if you're like me, and because first team to 50 kills, I was only getting maybe 1 or 2 kills per game. And it meant I was getting like very little XP and hardly leveling at all. And I found there was no teamwork. Like it's every man for himself. And I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other mode, which I'll talk about in a minute. I think the maps on the whole are just too big for 10 versus 10. You can't spawn on teammates and it's random spawns. So you could spawn somewhere and there could be an enemy in front or behind or to the side of you. And I don't think that's how Team Deathmatch should work. You should be at separate ends of the map and then meet in the middle. You should be doing flanks and counteracting and stuff like that, and I didn't like that. I think that needs to be reworked. The maps are the same 4 maps as in the game, but they're kind of split off and you have different areas inside of them. I think the either 10 versus 10 needs to go up to 20 versus 20 or something. The maps need to shrink a little bit and the spawn points need worked on. This is my least favorite of the 2 modes. And then you have a tactical ops / conquest style mode. This is where you work with your team to capture specific objectives around the map. There are 6 in total, so 3 pairs of 2. And if you capture like A1 and A2, they create a link, which means you get points for your team. If you only control one of the pair, then neither of you get points if you control one each. It's first to 5,000 points, or the team with the most points after 30 minutes wins. You're in squads. There's a squad lead. They'll tell you where to attack or defend, or you can even ask and say, look, what do you want me to do? All in text, there's no VoIP here. You get battle points for killing and capturing points. You will get some points and more points if you follow the squad's order. So if he goes, say, go to A1 and attack it, and you go to A1 and attack it and kill some people, you'll get more points. And then you can spend them points on perks like a UAV, airstrike, or tank. This mode is 20 versus 20. There is 4 maps. The biggest problem with this mode for me is the time frame. 30 minutes is a little bit too long, especially at times when, say, you're winning or losing by loads, like they counteract each other. When you're winning by loads, it can just get a bit boring, and when you're losing by loads, it can just get very frustrating very quickly, especially when it's half an hour long. Then people start dropping out and stuff, and it just becomes hugely even more unbalanced. However, I've had some really exciting modes and times on this game, like running into, like, say, B1, I think it was, on one map, and there was like get attacked and there was 3 guys coming towards me. I took all of them out. The most kills I've ever got in the game, but it was so cool just to hold that area, and I could see my teammates joining in and they were coming slowly while I was defending it. So good. I was throwing grenades to keep me away and everything, and this is my favorite of the 2. I've just, as I said, had some great firefights, but the timing needs dropped and I think the player count needs upped on that one. So now you know what you're getting for your money. What is the game like to play? Well, if you've ever played any multiplayer shooter, you've probably played this. It's a mix between COD Hardcore and the team play elements of Battlefield. Obviously not 2042, because that thing was a load of rubbish. Time to kill is really low, like maybe 3 or 4 well-placed bullets for an assault rifle, 1 or 2 from a sniper rifle, and you're going to take someone down. It's definitely more on the hardcore side of things. Movement speed is dictated by weight, so say if you bring 2 primary weapons into a match or heavy armor, you will move slower. For armor, while we talk about that, you have plate armor and a helmet. You can even not wear armor or helmet, but bear in mind, if you don't take a helmet, someone's probably just going to pop you in the head. What is a unique feature though, is the armor only protects where it is. So if you get shot in the shoulder or stomach, or the head if you're not wearing a helmet, there's no armor there, so you're going to go down quicker. So when you're aiming at someone, hitting centrally isn't always best. Gunplay is pretty satisfying. I found it a little bit hard to master. There does seem to be like a high level of randomness, as recoil is vertical and horizontal. Usually it's just one of the 2. This can be helped with attachments and so forth, but I did find it a little bit hard to get used to. And I found some of my shots, I thought I was landing them, but they were just going everywhere. So yeah, if you've come from somewhere like Halo or Call of Duty, you might find that a little bit difficult. There's also vehicles in the game, but I wouldn't say they're massively overpowered, and there's not too many of them. Another nice feature is if someone's driving around, say, a drone tank, if you don't have an RPG, you're not useless, you can shoot out the camera, and then they won't be able to use like the internal drone mode. So yeah, and they can be wiped out by an RPG in a few shots, which means you won't normally see a tank dominating the battlefield like you can say on Battlefield 2042, where someone in a hovercraft can pretty much dominate. There's also team killing and friendly fire is on at default at the moment, so be careful. There's been times where I've been shooting into a building, a teammate's walked in front of me, I've thrown a grenade, misjudged it, and killed my own teammate. So bear that in mind, they don't take nicely to that sort of thing. The map design is also pretty good. I enjoy most of the maps in this game, and they're really clearly signposted, which you don't see in a lot of these games. Like, it'll say B2 left, B1 right, so you can make that decision when you're walking around where to go without having to know the map particularly well. And when you're new and learning maps, this is just such a fantastic guide. They're laid out really well with just the right amount of cover and verticality, with some nice effects like there's car alarms going off if you hit it with a tag. In the shopping centre, security alarms ping as you walk in. There'll be walkways between windows so you can get across places quicker, little shortcuts through buildings, and they all have a realistic feel to them as well. Like, some FPS games you feel like it's just a dead area which was never lived in, it's just a map. These I kind of feel a bit more real worldy, and there's some nice little things like a little submarine in one of the maps. The shopping centre looks quite realistic. The only map I wasn't keen on was Moscow's, probably my least favourite map. That just has a big open area in the middle, and it just became a bit of a sniper's haven, and I'm never a fan of that. So yeah, it's the only one I wasn't too keen on. So now you know about the gameplay, what's the grind like and what monetization is there? Luckily, the grind has been cut lately, which is good to see, and it was taking a bit too long to level up, but they've added basically a 50% booster to that, and I would say it's a lot better than before. As mentioned before, as you level up and you're playing a class with a certain gun, you'll unlock more stuff for that gun, then the cycle repeats. And I didn't find the lower levels grind terrible, and it never seemed to get too bad either. So for me, so far, the pace of unlocking new stuff flowed pretty well. There is going to be an in-game currency. However, we don't know yet how that will skip the grind or what it'll provide or cost, because none of that's in yet until the game gets released. It could be awful. It could be all right. I don't know. But I can imagine it won't be too different to many other games out there. And of course, there will be a battle pass. So again, we'll have to see what that brings. There isn't a roadmap for this game, which is one thing I will mention. I think they need to get one out just so we can see where it's heading and maybe talk about a few of these features just to see what we're going to get at the free-to-play stage. Graphical and sounds. So moving on to graphics and sounds, there is a few graphical issues, but overall I liked the graphics. I love the look of the guns too. The maps look good, the movement and animations look pretty good as well. Explosions go off, bullets flies, and it all looks rather exciting as you play it. It's not just all grey and dull, there is some colour in there as well. I like the hit markers as well, they give you enough information to see where you're getting shot from, and I thought that was a nice touch. The UI elements are really good, informative but not in your face. It all looks good, so like it's not like Battlefield, which is just way too big and ugly. This is really nice UI, and especially like when the UAV comes down, you'll see little like red squares where the enemy is. I thought that worked really well. The only thing about the UI I didn't like, I did find the gunsmith type area a little bit hard to navigate at first, and also it would indicate I had something new when I didn't. I think it could show the unlocks and locks a lot better in that screen. The minimap is also really well done, very informative. It'll like show you a dotted line where you need to attack or defend. It even show where grenades are lying and where your teammates are dying, so you'll just be like seeing a skull behind you, and usually that means I'll run away because obviously there's a bad guy coming. Sound though, that's the biggest problem for this game. It is awful. Like sometimes it doesn't even work. You can hear gunfire and you go to investigate and there's nothing there. Sometimes it sounds like really tinny and like it's almost like half the sound is missing. It's really hard to describe, but it sounds terrible at times. Footsteps are a big problem. You won't hear an enemy standing behind you or teammate. You'll just be standing there and someone will surprise you, which they shouldn't have. And also, like, say all of you in the room, like 2 or 3 of you, and you go to walk out at the same time, all the footsteps will like join as one, and it becomes one like big elephant noise. It is awful. It's so weird and off-putting. It just makes it hard to pinpoint where noises are come from, where the enemies are, and even sometimes it'll just go entirely and there'll be no sound, and you'll throw a grenade and you won't hear anything. It's pretty terrible, to be fair, and I think it needs totally reworked in all aspects. It's one of the worst sound systems I've ever heard in FPS, and that's the one thing that's really letting this game down, is the sound. And now we boil down to the final question. Now that you know everything, is this game worth it? Bearing in mind, in March or thereabout, it's going to go free to play. So at the moment, what, $12, 10 quid to play a really good FPS? That's totally worth it. I mean, what else is in that price bracket? There's not much for a really good FPS. I've had more fun in this game than I have had in a multiplayer shooter for ages. It's so much better than Battlefield 2042. Way better. And bear in mind, even if you're going to pay this little bit, it's still a quarter or fifth of the price. So it's well worth it. And I think for $12 right now, it's totally worth it just to get in there early and just have a play around. It's got a massive amount of content already. And you have to remember, it's still a few months away from release. So hopefully all these issues I've discussed, like the sound, needs resolved. The modes need improved. I think it needs to be rebalanced changes. Maybe even AI filling in for user players, maybe in the future, just so it doesn't take so long to find a game and when people drop out. But it's a solid FPS. It's fun, it's tactical, and for me, it's just well worth it for their moment of excitement and the intensity in a really good game. It's got such a good ground in here, and I've just got to hope the developers keep pushing it forward. It's a really solid experience. However, saying all that, you could just wait a few months and play it for free if you're on the fence about it. But I don't think £10 is a massive amount of money to ask for this type of game. So yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Again, let me know your comments, your thoughts, your impressions below. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.